What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. So today is September the 22nd. I want to give you a quick pre-market update, go over some of the hot movers and what big money is focusing on today. Before we get into any of that, make sure you guys hit that thumbs up. And with that, let's get right to it. So starting off with macro data points, don't really have all that much aside from a lot of Fed speakers. So that in among itself could cause some volatility. One thing that seems to be plaguing the broader market right now is this. So the H-1 visas, so that did come out, I believe it was on Friday, but nonetheless, the market's digesting this and not really seeing it as favorably as probably Trump would have anticipated. Currently, the futures are a little bit red. So Dow is down 0.36, S&P down 0.27, NASDAQ down 0.32. What is very odd is what you can even see during the overnight trading. Things were hot like crazy. So a lot of the stocks I'm going to be talking on were up like several percent. Now seems to be the opposite happening. So a little bit of a fear spreading across the broader market. Despite that though, fear and greed index is under the greed category. So in theory, people's appetite for risk is there. Aside from that though, SoFi is getting right to it, down 0.44%. This stock did actually break that $30 mark. I posted it on Twitter. Very exciting times. Clearly that was rather short-lived, but then again, that might be a good indication of potentially where it might be going during the actual trading day. And we've seen that happen time and time again. And in my opinion, yes, this H-1 visa is not necessarily the best. It's not a reason for the market to be down this amount. So in my opinion, I do feel like today's dip is going to be largely bought up. So potentially, again, this might be a good indication that SoFi might be heading towards that $30 range. Shorts, 8.63% of the free float is being shorted. So shorts have been returning quite a lot leading up to today. So logically, they would be continuing that. So we'll have to wait and see for that, but don't anticipate any crazy moves from them. With it right now at 29.31, trading between this R3 and this R2. So 27.96 will be a strong support. I don't really see that being on the table whatsoever. And then 30.25 is going to be the next strong target / resistance. And it kind of bounced off of that general area. I know for the overnight trading, I think it got to about 30.15, but still that's going to be the next strong target / resistance. Similar nature, NIO. So NIO is doing phenomenal. I think it was up 4.5%, 5%. And that is because of NIO Day. So the market was digesting that. And from what I can see, everyone is very hyped up. But at the time of doing this video, it is pulling back 0.75%. 8.14% of the free float is being shorted. So similar to SoFi, shorts have returned a ton of shares. Most likely though, NIO shorts that are a little bit more strategic lately. So I feel like today, if anything, they might be potentially increasing it just to try to potentially kill the momentum associated to NIO Day. So again, anticipate them to be a little bit more active today. But right now with that 733, right below this R2, so 738 will be that key pivot. So best case scenario, it does close above that. But like I said, I think generally NIO, especially in NIO's case, given the big catalyst that they did have, I think that this dip will be bought up once the market does open, and that once big money can actually freely buy call options. It's a lot of manipulation, but that's what happens, right? If we see big money wants to bring it down, you don't really see that much activity during the pre-market, and then once the market opens, they buy puts and bring the stock price down. I think the opposite is going to happen, and we might be pushing higher, but what do I know in life? So 738 ultimately will be that key pivot. 832 will be the next strong target, but I don't see that being touched today. Maybe throughout the week if things go according to plan, but for Monday I don't see that really being touched. And then similar, 680 going to be the next strong support. I don't see that being touched. Opendoor was up a little bit during the overnight, but now it's kind of getting dragged down. No news, no SEC filings from them, so I think it's just being piggybacked from the broader market. 23.55% of the free floats being shorted, works out to be 157 million shares, so anticipate shorts to be fairly active as per usual. Although in Opendoor's case for the shorts, when the stock price is actually selling off, shorts tend to return. So today might be a day that they do return, and then when Opendoor, whether that be tomorrow or some other day, starts to build up some good momentum, that's when they decide to increase. So most likely in their case, they'll probably be returning today. But moving on from here, with it at 9.13, it is trading between this R1 and the pivot. So 8.44 is going to be a strong support. I don't really see that being touched even in the worst of scenarios for today. Flip side, 10.40 is going to be the next strong target / resistance. And similarly, I don't really see that being on the table. Most likely we'll see a lot of volatility, but probably neither of these actually being touched. Snapchat. So a lot of Snapchat fans on social media were kind of throwing up the screenshots as per usual, saying that it was up like 15, 16, 17% during the overnight. Now it's up about 8.21%, so still holding on to the gains, doing a little bit better, I guess, in comparison to some other stocks. And the main reason why is because of this. It's a potential buyout speculation. And honestly, I don't really see that being feasible, but maybe. I've never really liked Snapchat, to be fully honest, and generally every run that's actually gone on, I've always kind of for the most part shorted it because I really don't like it, and it's worked out for the most part. But 11.75% of the free floats being shorted works out to be 128.71 million shares overall being shorted. When it comes to shorts, they've actually been increasing quite a lot. So short interest in August, so second, third week of August, was roughly around 8.64%. So shorts have actually doubled down quite significantly. So maybe they share a lot of the same mentality that I have. The fact that Snapchat's just dying, in my opinion. Of course, some people are clearly disagree with me on that, and generally, yeah, it's doing fairly well today. So I think today for Snapchat, it'll be a pretty good day trade. Right now with that 881, it is trading between these 2 points, so this S1 and this S2, so 682 and then 906. So just watch for 906 to kind of be that pivot point, and if so, then 1267 could potentially be on the table. Not today probably, but in the next little bit, and dependent on if there actually is a buyout data or a rumor that does legitimately come out and a price point is somewhat set, then you'll see the stock run up like crazy. Aside from that though, moving on to ticker AGRI, this is the most heavily traded stock so far today. It is up 191% because of this. So there was a subscription agreement with certain institutional and accredited investors that did raise about 292.4 million with the purpose of, from what I can see, buying cryptocurrency. So again, we've seen a lot of these types of scenarios play out and the stock runs up 1,000+%. If they would have done this almost 2 weeks ago, almost guaranteed that this stock would be up like 1,000, 2,000%. But because of the fear that's happening today and the general pullback that is happening, you might actually see this dwindle out. So just anticipate that. Shorts, they're not that big of a deal for the stock. So 3.09% of the free float's being shorted. And right now it is above pretty much all the key fib levels. So 507 and then 429 will be the next strong support points. And then 712 is going to be the next strong target / resistance. So at the end of the day, this stock will be a pretty good day trade. But in my opinion, I think that if anything, it actually might dwindle out a little bit, only because of just generally the pullback and the fear that's somewhat seems to be there in the market right now. So again, just good mentality from the company for PR purposes. But I think if they would have done it like 2 weeks ago, then that would have been like an amazing turnout for them. But for today, I do feel like it is going to kind of pull back a little bit. But again, what do I know in life? Let me know your thoughts on these stocks. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. One final thing, pop over to my Patreon if you're looking for some solid buy signals on stocks, options, crypto. I put out daily day trades, numerous swing trades. Worthwhile to pop over there and take a look. With all that said, appreciate all of you watching.